This story just collapsed in the media. It's dead quiet. A noose found at Allentown City Hall. The mayor throws a tantrum. Protesters flood the streets. But here's what they won't tell you. The woman who found the noose is the same one who put it there. This wasn't a hate crime. It was a hoax staged by a city employee. And the media took the bait, hook, line, and sinker again. Roll the tape.
Hurry up. In downtown Allentown, where police now say a City Hall employee who found a noose on her desk planted it there herself. Investigators say they used DNA to crack the case. Natasha Brown was quick to tell police that what she thought was a noose was found on her desk here at Allentown City Hall. But after 2 months of outrage and claims of racism, Brown is now charged with putting the noose there herself.
Yet another fake hate crime added to the pile on. The police reviewed surveillance material from the building, conducted internal interviews, and took DNA samples. And come to find out, the victim is actually the hoaxer. But by then, the media had already fired up that outrage machine. They never wait for the facts. They just push a narrative and run with it. And now, just crickets. No retractions, no apologies, just silence. In our next clip, we watched the mayor jump the gun on this. Old Matt ran to the mic like he was auditioning for MSNBC. Zero patience, zero caution, just virtue signaling and on turbo mode. And now that it's been proven fake, he's MIA, missing in action. No press conference, no accountability, just ghosted. And what did we learn from this today, Charlie Brown? If you're going to lead, you've got to lead with facts, not feelings. Watching this next clip as the protesters had flooded the streets.
When Black lives are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back.
A call for action and fight for change.
We will not be silenced.
Community members and leaders made their voices heard in front of Allentown City Hall Monday afternoon.
Just to think that people have to go to work in fear for their lives.
Since Friday, Allentown police continue to investigate an item resembling a noose found on a city employee's desk.
But it is an attack on the entire community.
Several spoke during a rally, calling for transparency. This incident, community members note, is not the first racial discrimination issue City Hall has dealt with. Josie Lopez is a close friend of the victim.
They're always a community leader, always pushing for equality. They might be bruised right now, but they are not broken.
The victim is not being named due to safety concerns.
Our colleague was threatened. This was an act of terror. This was a hate crime.
Now let's be clear. This isn't the pot calling the kettle black. If this were real, we'd definitely be calling it out. But it wasn't. And the people who faked it weaponized the moment to cause even more divide. This woman hijacked real trauma and used it as a prop. And the people shouting the loudest won't even whisper now that the truth is out.
On January 10, 2025, at approximately 7:11 a.m., Allentown City employee Natasha Brown arrived at her office on the third floor of City Hall. At approximately 7:38 a.m., Ms. Brown notified the Allentown Police Department that she discovered what she believed to be a noose on her desk upon arriving at work. Officers assigned to the Community Outreach Unit, Crime Scene Identification Unit, and Criminal Investigations Unit responded, initiating a criminal investigation to identify the individual responsible for placing the noose on Ms. Brown's desk. During the investigation, video surveillance and building access control records were reviewed to identify city employees present on the third floor of City Hall between the time Ms. Brown left for work on the afternoon of January 9, 2025, and her arrival on the morning of January 10th. Those employees were interviewed. Each was asked if they would provide a buccal swab for DNA testing if needed. Every employee agreed, except for Ms. Brown. Initially cooperative, Ms. Brown later requested that the investigation be discontinued. The noose was submitted to the Pennsylvania State Police Crime Lab for DNA testing on January 14, 2025. On January 24, 2025, a search warrant was approved by the Lehigh County District Attorney's Office for Ms. Brown's DNA, and a DNA sample was obtained that same day. On January 27, 2025, Ms. Brown's buccal swab was submitted to the Bethlehem Regional Crime Lab of the Pennsylvania State Police for comparison with DNA profiles recovered from the noose. On March 10, 2025, the Forensic DNA Division of the Pennsylvania State Police issued a written report indicating that Ms. Brown's DNA matched the DNA profile obtained from the swabs of both the outer surface and inner knotted portion of the noose after it was taken apart. No other person's DNA profiles found on the evidentiary items involved in this investigation. As a result of this investigation earlier today, Detective Harold Bonds of the Allentown Police Department filed charges against LaTarsha Brown at District Court 31-2-01 for the criminal offenses outlined earlier by Chief Roca. Thank you.
Translation, she staged it, created a crisis, and then played the victim role while everyone else played along. You don't accidentally leave a noose in a public building. You do it with a goal in mind, probably, to stir up controversy, to control the story or the narrative. And it worked until it didn't.
New details are emerging about the days leading up to and the night of the alleged fake hate crime against the actor. Osendero says on the day of the dry run, Smollett gave him a check for $3,500.
Even after the FBI determined there was no hate crime.
It's a straight up noose.
Shot last October shows what sure looks like a noose. Hanging in stall number 4, the garage used by Bubba Wallace.
It started here in 2016 outside Gibson's Bakery in Oberlin. Protesters calling for justice after an employee accused a black student of shoplifting wine. Claims of racial profiling and boycotts followed for weeks.
We lost so much of the business after the protests that we weren't getting the business, and so I couldn't afford to keep the shelves filled.
Eventually, the 3 students involved pleaded guilty to misdemeanors, saying in court the employee didn't act out of racism.
We've seen this show before, over and over. Jesse Smollett pretended to get lynched. Bubba Wallace cried over a garage door rope. And Oberlin smeared a local bakery for catching a thief. Every time, instant outrage, endless airtime, and then the truth drops and the story vanishes. Poof! That's not journalism. It's activism with a press pass. In this next clip, watch the taxpayer dollar breakdown.
The Allentown Police Department conducted a thorough investigation, including interviews of persons, analysis of evidence, and consultation with the District Attorney's Office of Lehigh County. As a result of the subsequent investigation, LaTarsha Brown was charged with tampering with or fabricating physical evidence.
You see, this theatrical performance didn't just hurt feelings, it hurt wallets. City time, police resources, emergency meetings, workplace audits, thousands of dollars spent chasing a ghost story. You pay taxes for safety, not social experiments. And when lies cost you money, someone needs to be held accountable. The bottom line is, this wasn't just a lie, this was a weapon. And as far as I'm concerned, the media helped sharpen it. Fake hate crimes are now political tools. They hijack your emotions and then they bypass the evidence. And worst of all, they erase the credibility of the real victims. We can't continue to play this game because every time we let it slide, we give the liars more and more ground to stand on. The media doesn't care if it's real. They only care if it sells. And too many people are willing to burn down trust just to go viral for one day. But here's the truth. If you fake a hate crime, you deserve real consequences. Not a suspension, not sympathy, just the truth. Loud and clear. Because if we don't fight lies with firepower, the hoax will be even bigger next time. That lie was pretty loud. Make the truth even louder. Smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss another takedown like this. Thank you. God bless. Listen.